Hey everyone, welcome into an exciting session that we're going to run today. I'm really excited to go into some quite transformational topics today, and also just generally just have a talk through some of my more recent thoughts on what's going on, because there is a ton. Um, there is so much happening in our space, and also at Enterprise DNA as well. There is just a lot changing. I would say we're sort of in the midst of a massive evolution in what we do as data professionals, who what enterprise DNA actually is and wants to become. And so yeah, really excited to dive into a range of different thoughts and considerations that we've got to bring into account right at this moment. So a lot of you will have watched, I would imagine, the more recent updates from Microsoft last week. I mean, it was pretty huge, right? Like pretty significant. I mean, I don't think from memory there's been as big a change in everything that we are involved in or have exposure to than I've seen, since I've been in this world. Particularly with Power BI, etc. So, they're bringing out a brand new suite called Microsoft Fabric, and supposedly this is very game changing, from their perspective. Not totally convinced myself, to be honest. It's going to be as game changing as it's been hyped up to be, but definitely there's some changes coming in many different respects, and maybe they are, with this new branding, with this new package, with this new subscription, they're sort of getting ahead of what's to come. So look, we can dive into a bit of that, but today we're going to really dive into how we can supercharge Power BI development in a range of different ways, particularly with ChatGPT. So as you know, we've been putting out a lot of content around ChatGPT lately, and for a very good reason. It can absolutely transform how you work with data in general, just with any tools, with any code, within anything really, within any language. It is pretty phenomenal, as I'm sure you're all quite aware. And so I just wanted to, really showcase in this session how you can use it within Power BI development, because you can use it in many different ways. You can use it right from, evaluating your data all the way up until, understand, Power Query code, DAX code, understanding how to do things within Power BI, how to create compelling visualizations. I mean, you can get advice on anything, really. It's really incredible. It can also help you use a lot of the connectors within Power BI, things like Python and R and SQL and a whole range of different things. And so, things are changing. Things are rapidly changing with these AI assistants. Microsoft are implementing all these new co-pilots, they're calling them. So I think that's going to change things even more. But right now we have access to ChatGPT to really enhance and supercharge what we're doing inside of Power BI. So that's kind of that is what I want to mainly focus on during this session. Okay, let me just share my screen and we'll get into a few things. Please feel free to add to the chat and get a discussion going. We'll do whatever we can to provide links and details, etc. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, so I've got my ChatGPT open. So look, we're just going to work through. We're going to work through a whole range of examples. That's really my goal here, and to really see the potential. I mean, I'm going to do a lot of this on the fly. I obviously have done a bit of research and a bit of prep, but what I find with these AIs is that they can come up with anything. So I can do as much preparation as I like, but at the end of the day, it's all going to be different for everyone. And they're so variable, they're so flexible. So let's just try and experience it together, and work through some problems with its assistance and what we want to do inside of Power BI. Now, one of the interesting things with Power BI specifically, right, is that as much as ChatGPT can come up with lots of things, right, it can't build the thing for you. Okay, Power BI is a little bit different. You've got we've always talked about these frameworks, right, around how you develop inside of Power BI desktop specifically, and just generally with Power BI. And to me, those frameworks, I mean, they don't change at all. There is nothing changing there, because ChatGPT currently, it currently can't actually build the insights for you. So, it can't go and connect to the data. It can't go and do any transformations for you. It can't build the model for you. It can't write DAX. It can't build the visualizations. Well, it can't yet. Okay. It can just assist you in doing all these things. It can give you advice on all these things. And so the framework, in terms of like our framework, our 4-pillar framework, or us, we did expand it to sort of 6 pillars for a bit there. But really the pillars to building a Power BI report just really haven't changed. And also some of the techniques around fast and effective development, I don't think have changed really at all as well. And I don't think these are things, like some of these ideas that we've come up with over time. I don't actually think that that even ChatGPT can help you with that. So I'm just going to cover a few of those things first. Okay, so hopefully you can see my Zoom. Now, remember, our recommendation, like big recommendation, right, is to start Power BI reports with a template. Okay, so I have opened up a template, and within my template, I already have a lot of things set up. Okay, so I have my dates table, which is something that we always need, and I've got my key measures table. Now, within my key measures table, you check this out. I have added within here a lot of my formula patterns all ready to go, right? And I can come in here, and I've got a whole range of these just already set up in folders, and I'm literally just filling in different parameters within these patterns, right? I'm coming, usually I'll start with some core measures, or some really simple measures, some core measures here, like a sum, an average, so on and so forth. So again, our framework, our process to actually build out even DAX formulas, it hasn't really changed, and we still want to start simple with simple measures, and then we just branch out into these other ones. But I've just done a lot of setup here, which saves a lot of time as you're building out, right? Okay, also, if we just jump to the query editor here, you'll see that my dates table here is connected to a data flow, which I'm a big sponsor of. I think data flows, even though this might be changing, by the way, like there's a whole range of new ways that data is going to be stored in this one Lake data hub, according to some of the announcements. But in any case, data flows is a way to just directly connect to a cloud-based data source, and have that do all the transformations for you, push the transformations centrally into the Power BI online service, and then we can call upon these refined data sets. Okay, so I'm a massive sponsor of these. Still, I still think that we should be trying to push a lot of core tables, core data, to a centralized area, and not have it within a Power BI desktop file. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, a lot of you are thinking here, and what's going to happen to Power BI desktop? Now, this is a question I'm getting a lot, and mulling over a lot. I believe, based on what I saw, that I think Power BI desktop may be wound down in a few years' time. I really feel like, particularly with all these AIs coming out, you've got to remember, Power BI desktop is a machine-based application, right? But these AIs are all cloud-based. They're all based in the cloud. So if you really want to get the full use out of your AIs, you want to have every part of the experience in the cloud. So you want to be developing inside of the Power BI online service. And I saw that in the demos at Microsoft Builds, that you can actually now, well, in the demo at least, you can start writing DAX. You can start building relationships in the model within the Power BI online service. So, I think eventually Power BI desktop is going to be totally deprioritized. I think that they're going to try and push everyone to the cloud. It just makes complete sense. It's so much better. Trust me, it is so much better to centralize things within a cloud-based environment than have everyone using Power BI desktop. But there was reasons why Power BI desktop has been around for a long time. I think it's for definitely for technical reasons, and compute reasons, and a whole range of other things. But I think the evolution of this is it's moving, definitely moving to cloud pretty soon. All of our development, which is honestly, it's a good thing. Okay. Now, okay, but in any case, we've got to work with what we've got right now. Okay. And so I think the transition will be made very, very easy. So, we just got to get on with it, and not wait. Okay, so let's now start diving into ChatGPT a bit. Now, like, if you haven't used this at all, I just cannot recommend enough. Start diving into it as soon as possible. It's absolutely mind-blowing, what can be done within ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log into our dashboard. Going to log into our dashboard, and I'm going to go to the resource center here. Okay, and I'm going to pick up some data. Okay. Okay, so we'll just find a nice. So these are great. By the way, a great way to go and find data on anything. Okay, let's have a look at some pharmaceutical sales. Let's just have a look at this one. Okay, so if we do an evaluation here, we can see a few key things. But what I want to do is, and this is where ChatGPT can make a big difference. Is I don't want to evaluate actually. I don't want to evaluate. I want to see what ChatGPT comes up with. So if you didn't realize already, this is what you can do. Okay, so I'm going to go to ChatGPT 4 because this, even though it's slower, it just comprehends things a little bit better. And I'm going to say, I want you to be an expert data analyst. Here's some data. Here's some structure to rounded data set. Then you evaluate it and tell me what insights we could showcase. Okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna there is limits on how much data you can put in here, and sometimes you can get the whole data set if it's small, but if it's not, you can just basically go for the structure. So I'm just going to push OK, and we'll see what it comes up with, right? So we'll actually give us some really good ideas on the data and what we could be doing. Okay, based on the provided data set, here are some potential insights: sales volume and revenue by medical use, sales volume and revenue by country and region, performance of external agents, price sensitivity, time series. Cool. Okay, so it's giving us some good thoughts, right? Like, this is pretty amazing, right? So, and we've got to remember, if we can keep this in the same chat, the ChatGPT will have some memory of what we're actually talking about. And so, if, for example, we want to say, okay, in Power BI, I want to work out what this is, I can just type it in and say, can you help me work out this particular thing? It will remember the data structure that we've placed inside of it. Yeah. I want you to think like a data modeling expert. How should we model this data in a Power BI report? Okay, let's just see what it comes up with here. Might not say to do anything because it's quite a simple data set. Okay, so this is kind of generic, right? It's not that helpful, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely giving us some great ideas though, isn't it? So sales by region, sales by medical use, sales trends over time. So it's really telling us all the things we can do, isn't it? Right? It's really telling us all the things that we can do with this data, which is helpful. I mean, we obviously want to get to a point where we've got the ability to do some of this ourselves. But just in terms of a pilot, a co-pilot, an assistant, it's pretty fantastic, right? I didn't like some of these, I really wanted to think, okay, I actually want to specifically know what table relationships I should create within the data model. Okay, let's see if we can get really specific. Okay, cool. So it's recognized as a single flat table. These are typically created by separate tables. If you have or can get more data, you could create relationships with those: product information table, agents details table, company details table, date table. I mean, this is crazy. This is brilliant, right? This is absolutely brilliant because this is where so much confusion actually comes from, right? And this is just giving you the ideas. It's giving you, it's like having some advice just at hand, right? And so let's have a look. So um, yeah, company IDs. What else? External agents. Now that's not that helpful, to be honest. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, all of these could be lookup tables, right? This would be the fact table, and then we could create, lookup tables off the back of that. But I love the fact that it did mention to get a date table because that's obviously key. Even with a single table, it can be beneficial to add a separate date table. This would have a row for every date and column. So this to me, this like where I think this is really beneficial for really like supercharging Power BI development is that Power BI development can get absolutely ruined by building the model incorrectly, right? And so just getting and for novice users, that's where you usually get tripped up. And so just being able to get some advice here around what you should be aiming for. Yeah, product information table, cool. Yeah. Is a great idea. Okay, really great idea. Okay, so let's actually just do a few of these things that it's saying. Okay. Um, Set it on here for now. Okay, so I'm pretty well set up here. I'm just going to go transform data. Oh no, this is another file. Sorry. Okay, so I've got my template up here. I'm going to go to the query editor and I'm going to go and find. I'm going to go and find that. Yeah. Okay, go over pharmaceutical sales. Okay, now let's, I guess, follow. Hold on, I'm just going to move this one. Just going to move to group, new group. Hold on. Okay, so if we go back to ChatGPT, what it tells us to do, product information table, agents details table, company details table. If you have a table that provides more details about external agents, you could link that to this table using the external agent field. Yeah, potentially. But I think, okay, let's just create these two, product information table and company details table, okay? And this is how I would create them, right? So what we can do is we can come in here and we can duplicate or reference. In this case, I'm going to duplicate because I want to get the entire initial state. Now, what I could jump into here is I could remove other columns like this, okay, and then remove duplicates, okay, and then now I've got a medical products table, okay. Then I'm going to duplicate here, okay, and then I know we don't have much additional information here, but I could just go remove other columns and remove duplicates, okay, and now I have a company table. Okay, so this is where I think it's really helpful, right? So it's giving you a bit of advice, and then you've obviously got to go and execute. It's one thing that ChatGPT doesn't do right now is it doesn't well, any AI, it doesn't actually execute it for you, right? I would move this into another group, call this the data model. Okay. But what else can it do? Let's have a think. Let's have a think about what else it can do at this point. You're now a data engineer. What transformations would you do to this data set, particularly within Power Query? Okay, because we're using Power Query, it knows Power Query code quite well. Okay. Oh, that's one thing I'm going to show you as well, is how good it is. ChatGPT GPT-4 is at. So these are all just small things which are great. Like, yeah, I've got some really good ideas to show you here actually. all really good ideas, right? Like all really good thoughts and ideas of what we can do to this particular data set. Now, check this out. Check this out. Jump back in here. Okay, so and this is a little technique that I started to use quite heavily. Okay, so what so I come to this table, right? Okay, what I can do is I can say keep top rows. Okay, and I'm going to say keep the top 5 rows. Okay, just in this particular table. I can then come up to here. Okay, and then copy entire table like that. Okay, I can always delete that transformation. Okay, this is just for me to get these details again. Can you recommend some additional columns for this data set to assist with our analytics project? Okay. So I'm pasting similar data that I pasted before, but check this out. Profit, this would be revenue minus external commissions. Can help you understand the net gain, cost, if you have any costs, profit margins, sales region. Don't love these, to be honest. This doesn't follow sort of some of our best practices, but look, it's not a bad idea. Okay, so it's just, I mean, it's actually getting creative. It's getting creative. It's giving us ideas around what we can add. I want to complete more high level analysis on this data set. We need to focus on the actual data we have. What can we add to this data set within that context? Okay, let's just see what it can add here. As mentioned earlier, that's crazy that it knows it. Okay, split invoice data into separate components such as year, month. See, we don't really need to do that. That's where it's a little bit confusing. Sales volume per kg, sales efficiency. This can be represented by revenue divided by sales quantity, giving the revenue efficiency per quantity. Interesting. Transform external agent from a categorical column to a numerical one. This can facilitate mathematical analysis on the field region. There are many regions. You can create a column based on the continent. Yeah, love that one. If the medical use column has many unique values, group them into higher level categories. Love that one. Based on price. Okay, these are all great. Okay. Then I could, okay. So, I mean, I could do any of these, right? These are probably, do I really need to do it? I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I can come back here and go back like that. Now, price per kg. Okay, cool. Now, so I could, I could do any of those, right? Probably, I don't really need to show you guys that. I mean, potentially what we could do, right, is this. Let's see. Okay, let's see this. So I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to remove other columns, then remove duplicates. Okay, so this has got 59 rows. So I probably will be able to copy entire table. Check this out. Let's see if this figures it out. Can you help me group these countries into continents within a calculated column inside Power Query? Okay, let's see if it comes up with a formula. This is quite a hard one, right? Go to that. Okay, so it's going to try and do the whole thing for me. Let's see what it comes up with. Wow. Okay. But I want the actual code. I don't want to actually, I'm going to ask it to do the code here. But isn't Isn't this cool? One of the things in Power BI that I didn't really do that much was create. I didn't really create calculated columns that often. Um, right? I not sorry. Custom columns. I mean custom columns. Where you see custom columns like this because you need like custom code in here, and I never really liked the having to figure out another coding language, right? Okay, thanks for this. Can you give me the specific code for a custom column in Power Query? Okay, let's see if I can come up with it. So it's giving me the actual M code instead of the custom code. Okay, well, let's just see. I mean, if this works, that's pretty amazing. But you see here that it's coming up with M code, so it actually knows how to write M code. Okay. Okay, let's copy it. Let's see if we can integrate it. Let's see if we can integrate it. But imagine having to, the fact you don't have to write this out is pretty insane. Okay, so I can come in here and copy this. And then I'll just pop this in here. I need to come up with a name. Custom countries. Okay, and then I need to put this down here. Okay, let's see. No, okay, so it's not working. The field, you know what? Okay, apologies. It's because I changed that to I changed the name of this to something else. Hold on a second. I changed it to countries, so I just need to change this to countries. Maybe if I was working, not having to explain it, I mean, this could happen probably a little bit quicker, right? But hopefully you get the idea of what's possible. Come on, let's see if this works. Oh, I mean, that is nuts, right? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Wow, love it. Really love it. Now it didn't actually, okay, so it gave me that. Now, okay, here's another one I want to show you that's really cool. Okay, now I like that one. Analysis. I want to create a custom column in Power Query. So a lot of it's again the concept of using Power Query extensively is is not actually suggested here, but I'm spending a lot of time doing this inside of Power Query, right? Because if we set up Power Query well, right, everything post this becomes so much easier if we set up Power Query well here. So that is why I'm spending so much time just setting this all up. I actually want a custom code formula for this. Okay. So I don't want the M. I want no, I don't want M. I don't want M. So what I want it to do is I want it to give me this custom column. So I don't know why it's not. Okay, well we can just use this and we can type it into here. Now I'll show you one other really cool thing as well. let's go advanced editor. Okay. Now I'm going to say custom. I'll call this custom grouping. Okay. And we just need to change a few things around here. So, I personally don't know how to write this code that well, but I know how to manipulate it, right? And that's all that matters. Okay, that's all that matters. Like, I can't write this out from scratch, but now I don't really need to, right? I don't need to. Okay, then I need a comma here. Okay, something's not right. So one thing I will definitely say is that it's not always right. I'm getting an error here, but that's fine. You quickly go and find the issue, and then you can probably try and yeah, I don't know if this is going to improve it or not, but I wonder what the actual issue is. Invalid identifier. So it's something to do with that. You know what? Maybe that is not a it's a type number. Interesting. Not sure what's going on there. See, that should be fine. Okay, let's have a try with this. We'll see if this actually improves anything. Just picking up as text. That's weird, isn't it? It says it's type number. Place errors. Change type. Sure. Maybe it just wasn't all numbers. Like, maybe there's actually something wrong in that particular. Okay, I might move on. But look, I think it's interesting nonetheless, right? It's interesting nonetheless. I had another example where I was creating a lot of these sort of like grouping columns that, they're quite hard to create. They bring a lot of additional insights or ways you can slice and dice your data without and you can do it quite quickly within here. You don't have to go through and do a whole lot of customization. Usually it can actually give you the actual custom code here. I'm not sure why I wasn't giving it to me. Yeah, so I don't know exactly why. But if we asked it slightly differently, maybe it would. So sometimes the encode can just be a little bit trickier. But other thing is that encode is like what ChatGPT is really good for. Is it's really good for giving you ideas on how to improve your code. How to create functions, how to create different parameters within here. Just utilize the full suite of things that is available to you within here. And one of the other things it's really good at is enabling other types of code, because if you didn't realize already, you can actually put R inside of here. You can actually put Python inside of Power Query. You can use this coding language called regex, which is kind of mind blowing. Brian from the team's been showing me a lot of things that you can do with that, and so there is just unbelievable things you can do in here that you just don't even realize, right? And it's all just in a with a strategy of getting everything perfect within here before we move on, because we know that if we do that, everything post here becomes just super easy, super easy. Okay, so let's actually move on. Let's move on. So we've set up a bit of a model. We obviously would need to build the relationships, etc., between all these. Let me just do that quickly. So obviously ChatGPT can give you a few ideas here. It's not like, it's definitely not perfect, absolutely not perfect, but pretty good. Yeah, it's not going to tell you to utilize the technique that I've been shouting about for years, where we want to put our lookup tables up here, and we want to put our fact tables down the bottom. It's not going to recommend that, because it's just this is sort of like the hidden secret of Power BI development that we've generated over time. Okay, but I'll just do this quickly anyway. Remember, we've got our continents now, which is pretty cool. Ship to critical use, and we could have grouped those products. Something is up here. I bet you it's because there's like gaps or something in the data, or maybe there's duplicates. Okay, so let's see, what I need to do is do a couple of additional transformations here. So we want to first of all trim, and then we want to capitalize each word, and then we want to remove duplicates again. Okay, so that should fix it up. What we also need to do, is come through here and probably do the same here. Yeah, we probably wanted to make sure we do the same here. So transform, trim, and capitalize each word. Okay. Cool. So I've got my one-to-many relationships. Cool. Simple model, right? Okay. So now we're onto the DAX side. Now remember that the key here, right? The key is to use a template similar to this. If you really want to speed things up, and I can go, watch this, I can go unhide all, boom. I've got all of my setup for my measures already there, right? And this is how I can truly go really fast, okay? And so if I try this again, right? Okay, now we are onto the analysis part using DAX inside Power BI. Working with the original data set, what are some simple measures I can create using sum, average, min, max, count rows. Okay, so these are all our core calculations. We can get onto the iterating function soon as well, but you see here that a DAX box comes up. Oh, so we're literally only going to have to just copy and paste. Wow, this is crazy, right? So good. Okay, so we can come in here, and within our core measures here, I can just start typing them in. Oh no, it's not grabbing the right table name. You know what? You know what we should do? Because we don't want to have to change all these. We want to go sales. We want to call it sales. Can we do the same, but have the table name as sales going forward? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to actually click through it as well as it creates it. So I was never a huge fan of having to write out measures, right? But this just again, it just has democratized is going to speed up the ability to do these like crazy, isn't it? Right? All I'm doing is, and I'm having to click between. I would usually just have these side by side where I'd just be going boom, 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 boom. You know what? Which price? Yep. Okay, cool. Let's see if it missed any. Let's see if it missed any. Or let's just ask it first. Let's just ask. Can you give me some more? Okay. Let's just yeah. Okay, cool. These are all good ones too. Revenue per sales quantity, commission, assuming the rate is amazing. I mean, this is just so easy, isn't it? See, the framework hasn't changed. The framework has not changed at all, has it? Still, we want a simple measures, but we can just get help from ChatGPT to actually create a lot of these. Sorry if I'm jumping a lot between pages, but just want to show you what I'm doing. Cool. Well, I think we just created 10 measures pretty quickly. Okay, now I'm going to say, okay, that's great. Can you help me create measures now using, can you create relevant and different measures using sum x, average x, min x, max x, x. Yeah, let's see what it comes up with here. So now we're working through our iterating functions. The iterating functions operate on a row by row basis and can be more flexible and powerful compared to their non-iterating components. Total revenue, sum x, average revenue. Okay. Cool. Some of these aren't that relevant. Um, Weighted average price. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so it's given us some ideas. Okay, so total revenue. Total revenue. I don't even think we actually did this one, right? So, I don't want that in there, so I'm just going to take that out. Okay, this one, not, well, yes, because, I think that one's not that different from what we've got, but this one is different. Okay, so let's put this one in here. Cool. Okay, so I think that's good makings of what's possible, right? Okay, so, and then what I would do to tidy all these up, right? These are all my core measures. So I would just click and drag these into my core measures here. So you see here I've got core measures and just drag these all in. So that has taken away a lot of, it's given me a lot of ideation, a lot of clicks, a lot of, the speed in which I can get to this point is very, very quick, which I'm very happy with. Cool. Core measures all done. Right. Okay. Now we can start working through. If you think about it, we can start working through a lot of these other ones, right? We've got averaging measures. This is why I have this set up. We can go averaging measures, basket measures, cumulative measures. Okay. So let's go and work out some cumulative totals. Okay. I want cumulative total revenue. want some and total invoices and total sales quantity. Okay, so what I can do, cumulative totals for this data. Can you help me create the cumulative total pattern? Yep. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, this is not DAC right. This is where DAX can be a little bit off. Okay. It doesn't. This is the one thing that we need to be very, very conscious of. And I would be amazed, I'll be amazed when I see the Copilot figure all this stuff out, right? It's not taking into account our date table. Okay. I could say let's see, I actually have a date table to use in this measure. Can we redo? Okay, but because you see here that it's grabbing the date from our sales table, which is not right, which is not best practice, and not what we want to do. So there's still you still got to learn, right? Okay, so stop the okay actually. So did you know you can actually come in here and read it? You need to the dates table is called dates. Okay, and then I can go save and submit, and I can redo it. Because you want to obviously just have a nice flowing conversation. Yep. Okay. So that's right now. Okay. So that's right. So I can come in here. I'm not sure if I've got a sales revenue measure though, do I? Cumulative revenue. Okay. Well, I do. I do have one. Okay. So now that I've got this right, I can actually reuse this multiple times. I can reuse it. I can go and go like this, cumulative invoices, right? And then all I got to do is change what's in here. So I can go invoices. Oh, okay. Create another one. Copy and paste. Cumulative sales quantity. And then I would just put in my measures here. Cool. Okay, and then for this one, I don't need this sum here, right? What I do need is the revenue, total revenue. That's what I want to put in there. Okay, so hopefully you can I won't go through detail after detail here, but hopefully you can see that it can help us even with that. There is absolutely, it is not a given that this is going to be absolutely correct, but it definitely can help, right? Okay, so let's actually, to round off this, let's do something a little bit harder. Okay, let's just do something a little bit harder and see if it can figure it out. Okay. Let's do so. Moving averages pretty easy. Groupings. Let's do so. A lot of these, I think a lot of these it will be able to do quite easily actually. So what I want to do is I want to ask it something a little bit trickier. A little bit trickier. So I've changed this a little bit. I want to work out the top. Let's do some sort of ranking. Right? Okay, I want to work out the top 3 medical use products sold in each country. Okay, so the top 3 medical use sold in each country. Okay, so this is relatively difficult. Okay, and now I want to calculate something more unique. I want to work out the total revenue sold, the top for the top 3 medical use products per region. I have a separate table for countries called countries. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. This is quite an advanced tax calculation. Yes, it is. Okay, let's first create the measure. Top 3 medical use, top end, summarize medical use. Wow, okay, I think that's right. I think that is right. Okay, but that's pretty sick, isn't it? That is pretty crazy. Okay, let's have a look. So ranking measures is down here, so that's where I would put it here. Okay, let's paste this in. I gave it the actual details. I love how it formatted it as well. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so it's just going to, for every country, it's going to summarize the medical table, the sales table, medical use, revenue, and then it's only going to return the top 3. I think this is right. So what I would do, right, and this is where context is key, obviously. Okay, so I'll create a new page here, and I will grab from the countries table, okay, turn this into a table. I know that's quite small. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this ranking. Okay, that's pretty epic. Okay, so let's compare this to total revenue. No, okay, so it's not calculating it correctly. Is it because, let's have a look. Is the model right? We need to check that the model is right. Okay, let's try understand. Let's try understand this. Let's try understand. Okay, so nothing changes. We've got to really understand the context of the calculation. Okay, so for every country, it's going to summarize the products sold in that country and the total revenue, and then it should, well, okay, actually, I think it is working. No, it is working. It's just that it's just I didn't realize it is working. You see some of these, like probably some of these don't have that many sales, right? They don't have actually that many sales. Here's a nice little thing we could do as well, is if we wanted to, so I could grab this, okay? I could say total countries sold, total medical products, total products sold. Okay, and I could go count rows. I mean, I'm sure ChatGPT could work this out as well. Okay, and let's just say, okay, so some of these just don't have that many. So with 7, yes, there's going to be. So in this one, is that the top 3? And there's a lot of smaller ones. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Okay, so you know how we could check this out? You know how we could work this out? And this is really good auditing, just to make sure ChatGPT knows what it's talking about. I could go medical use, right? Okay, and then we could go total revenue. Okay, so to check out, to see if this one is actually correct, we could go like this. Rank this instead. Okay, so the top 3, so 140, yeah, looks about right. 150 plus that is 40, yeah. Okay, so top 3, yeah, it is. Okay, if we change this, wow, okay, so I mean, that's pretty cool that it figured that out for us, right? Say we wanted to go down to 2, we could just drop this here. And it changes it even more. Amazing. So that is truly transformational, in my view, truly transformational. Okay, so look, we haven't had time to do too much more. If I was to clean this up, I would literally come through here and start cleaning this up. But can you see, like, layering on some of these things? You'll be amazed at how quickly you can get to good insights. Nothing like Literally nothing changes in terms of the framework. We just need to enable ourselves to follow the framework more closely with the help of ChatGPT, right? Just get advice at every turn if you want, around what you can do and how you can enhance your model, okay, and how you can enhance your report. You know, chuck in data from one table and another table and another table, and see what ChatGPT says about how you should model it up, how you should optimize it, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, in terms of the last step, ChatGPT is also amazing at advising. And now I'm advising around visualizations onto the dashboard to highlight all the key summary metrics. Okay, so let's see what it says. Yeah, so it's just going to give me a total breakdown. That's amazing. Top 10 medical uses, yeah. Wow, isn't that amazing? That is so amazing. Just basically told me what I should do. Just totally told me from start to finish what I should do. And just, all we have to go and do is execute, right? All we have to go see. And if we ask, like, okay, how for the time series chart, can you give me a step overview of how to do this? Okay. So it also, like what I've found is it truly understands the Power BI environment. Like it will tell you step by step, like where everything is, what you should do to go and action it. It almost knows the environment. It knows all of the features that you can use. One of the things that it really has enabled for me is that it's opened my eyes around, like, literally all these new things or different things that I could do, different optimizations that I could do in the query editor, and how I build my visualization, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's really, really crazy. What are your top 5 visualization best practices? Simplicity is key. Avoid clutter. Don't overload charts or too much information. Choose the right type. So there's been a lot of content and a lot of blogs, etc. Around consistent meme colors. Yeah, I mean, these are all the things that I would say. These are all the things that I would say. Good, clear labeling, interactive. I mean, this is basically what I would say. And you can literally just ask here and get reminded, straight away. One of the other things that I love, okay, is I want to show you this, okay? What you can do, and this to me is quite transformational as well, is check this out. I can export this data, okay? Or can I actually copy it in this format? No, I can export this data, okay? And I'm sure Copilot is going to, like, the Copilot that they place in here at some point is going to really enhance this. I can place it in there, okay? Go and grab the actual data itself, okay? So I can open it up and I'll go and grab it. Okay. I can copy this into ChatGPT. Okay. Can you summarize this for me? Don't make it too wordy. Is there any interesting insights in this data? Yeah. It will give you a really good overview of, like, what's going on in your data, right? And what you can do. And this to me is also, like, sort of just flows on my thoughts around just sort of Power BI in general. I mean, it's telling you the story. It's telling you the story, right? And I could come in here, and I could just copy this I can literally just copy this into Microsoft Teams. I could copy this into an email, PowerPoint. I mean, I could copy it literally anywhere. And and what we could also do is just basically copy it into here. I mean, that is just mind-blowing stuff. Okay. One of the things I would definitely say here though is that I have seen it be wrong. Okay. I have seen it be wrong. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's got some issue. It's got something wrong here. Okay. So let's actually have a look. The top three countries by total revenue are India, Thailand, and Vietnam. India, Thailand, Vietnam, with India leading significantly. Okay, these countries have a high number of unique products sold, 15, 8, and 9. For most countries, the total revenue aligns closely with the revenue from the top two medical uses. This could imply that the majority of the revenue comes from just a couple of key medical uses. Some countries have high total revenue with a few products, US and Colombia. I mean, that's just kind of crazy. That is totally, totally nuts that how good that is, right? How good that is. And just replicate this across all insights that you could create. I think it's kind of amazing. Kind of amazing. Like let's do another. Let's do another one. I'll show you one more. Show you one more, right? So we've got medical use products. Let's do another one. So we'll go to our core measures here. Total invoices, weighted average price, and total revenue. Okay, so I could export this data. Open it. And then ask something here. Okay, here's some more data. Can you tell a insightful story around these data points? We want something to really impress management. Okay, let's see what it comes up. Just evaluates data. Amazing. So, good afternoon, everyone. What is she's an intern? We see significant trends in the utilization of our medical products and the data provides us with an opportunity. First, let's talk about the medical. Oh my God. That is nuts. It's absolutely crazy. It's actually writing a story. It's like writing a script. God, soon we can just copy this into an AI bloody speaker and it'll bloody tell us, it'll bloody read it to us. Oh God. That is nuts. That is crazy. Okay, now can I get high level bullet points? Okay, let's just get this into a better format for us. Like you got to think that this is just what Copilot's going to do for us within Power BI, the Power BI experience, isn't it? It'll be able to just tell these stories for us. So these points illustrate our strong market position, significant revenue drivers and areas for strategic growth. Well, that's amazing. That's transformational stuff. Okay, I know we're going a little bit over, and we will round off in a touch. I like this, right? Because we might not want to show everything inside of here. We could just literally, maybe we just want to show this visualization, and then we can, off the back of it, like have more details like this, right? That are just created very quickly for us, which we traditionally didn't have before. And you could also have this as a pop-up. You could have this as a whole variety of different ways that you could use it. Well, look, I think I'm going to round off there, but it's it's kind like this is scary how good this is actually. I don't know what you think. This is kind of scary. Like it is so good. It's so good at helping, right? It's not perfect. I don't think anything is perfect. I mean, like just Googling and looking through forums is not perfect, right? So, anyone looking for perfection here, I think is asking for way too much. But in terms of just giving you ideation, you know, like tutoring to give you just thoughts, ideas on like what's possible, what you can do, what you can achieve. I mean, you can just literally go down massive rabbit holes, just asking more and more and more and more. There are limits on GPT-4 because of the compute, but even it's pretty good with 3.5 as well, like ChatGPT 3.5 too. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the differences and what these actually are, definitely check out some recent courses that we've released on the platform. So Beginner's Guide to ChatGPT, this is a perfect one for you to review. We've got Beginner's Guide to ChatGPT in Excel as well, and I will also be doing a more comprehensive course on how you can enhance what you're doing with ChatGPT as well. Very, very soon too. So definitely check some of those out. We're releasing a lot of new content. There's a lot of data science content coming out. There's a lot of ChatGPT content coming out. So definitely watch out for those as we release them. I think we're going to release up to sort of 10 courses next month. So keen to get your hands on those as soon as we possibly can. Okay, well, thanks everyone for this discussion. It's amazing. It is a changing world out there. I mean, if you haven't picked it up already, I mean, it is happening faster than we could ever know. And we at Enterprise DNA, we're sprinting to keep up as well. So be rest assured that we are going to evolve at this inflection point, just as you would want us to. There's a lot of new ways of doing things, new ways of working, and as a company, as a brand, we need to evolve with that. And it's exciting. It's exciting for us to be able to be thinking a little bit differently and thinking about how we can add value in lots of new and different ways. And so, I'm looking forward to getting some of those new resources and content and ideas out to you as soon as we practically can. Okay, everyone. Thanks a lot, and look forward to next time. See ya.